bali, total of two gowns po ito, correct? That you prepared
Ano?
for. Total of two gowns po.
No, no, no. We
Oh,
made four gowns.
Okay, for now.
ayan. Hi, good
Hi.
evening, partner.
Good evening, partner. Good evening.
Hello, mga ka-crown. Wow, it's a wonderful weekday, partner. It's different for us, ha?
Yes, indeed. It's a totally different. And I know, partner, I know now. Well, let's get to the point. We actually have a very special guest today. But before that, I think you have something to promote muna.
Yes, of course. We would like to thank everyone who watched our previous episode and also our premiere episodes, which we are airing throughout the week. Kasi syempre, partner, the intensity, it's getting more intense in terms of our coverage, particularly for Miss Universe, and including this one, ito nga, may coverage tayo during the weekday, which is very different with how we're doing it during the weekends.
Yeah,
Pero this
yeah.
is very special.
Yes, indeed. And before that, no, partner, we would just like to thank those who have been watching our past episodes. For those who have missed it, please do watch our interview with a special crown conversation with Gian Lasala. And please don't forget, this coming week also we will have we actually caught up with Jojo Bragais before he left for the United States, partner.
Yes.
So
Okay.
abangan na lang natin yon. So, partner, without further ado, our guest for tonight, I must say, brings me back some special memories, because just to let everybody know, before I had a chance, I had a chance a few years ago, to be exact, to write a story about him, and he was already
Wow.
based in
In
Dubai. So,
Dubai. Okay.
yes. So our guest for today has dressed several local and international stars such as Jennifer Lopez, Heidi Klum, and our very own Mai Mai Entrata. He has also designed the swimsuits for last year's Miss Universe Philippines, and will also he has actually designed Rabiya Mateo, our Philippine bet, evening gowns for this year's Miss Universe pageant happening in Florida. Please welcome, and we're very honored to have the designer, Furne Amato. Good evening,
Wow. Good
sir.
evening, sir. Good evening
Good evening.
po.
Well, good afternoon there in Dubai. So thank you so much um, for gracing us. We know that you have been very busy, and you have been asked by several media these past few days about designing Rabia's gowns. But before we go to that, po, I would just like to ask, no, how much time did it take you to draw inspiration and finish Rabia's gowns when you were approached to be her designer?
I think it took me more than 5 months to finish all the gowns, longer than expected due to the restriction of COVID. We work on a skeletal team. It took us longer time to make the gowns because of the COVID restrictions
Mhm.
Mhm.
and the COVID protocols.
Mhm. And right now, po, sir, people would probably asking, no, if Rabia, or how much involvement Rabia had, or the Miss Universe Philippines organization had, in terms of under say about the gowns that you have designed for her.
Come again?
Um, how much po
Okay.
involvement did the Miss Universe Philippines or she had a say when you started
Okay. Yes.
dressing up those
So
gowns?
for me, I believe in teamwork. So it
Mm.
definitely a team effort. My team, along with the whole Miss Universe Philippines and Radia, were involved in the process of making these masterpieces. And I'm so excited for you all to see what we have been preparing for the longest time.
Mm. All right po. And then ako po, no, I know, no, I've seen some of your works actually here back in Manila. In fact, I know you have dressed several actresses for special events particularly the ABS-CBN ball 2 years ago. I've seen that in motion. But I want to know po, what made you accept the challenge of designing a evening gown for a beauty queen? Because you said in one particular in an interview that designing actually for beauty queens is not really your forte rather.
Yeah, I think the process is completely different. Like I'm always designing Hollywood celebrities, and they have already the a specific branding for themselves. They usually know what they want and what direction they want in terms of ideas, because they have a look already. And for designing a beauty queen, you have to consider the personality. You have to experiment, and it took a lot of. I think there's a lot of element that you have to consider, like the personality of Rabia, the culture, and while the Hollywood celebrity, they have a certain look already.
I see. And then of course I want to ask din po sa inyo no na you describe Rabia's gown as in the interview as energy. So sa inyo po, when designing something like a specific gown or something very formal, what makes it scream that there's energy?
Because the design is eclectic. Because I gather all ideas from a lot of sources. Like it should be Filipino, the passion of Filipino, perseverance, patience, and also the patriotism. That's the key word for the collection. So why it's energy? Because of the vibrancy and the personality of Rabia. But the patriotism is one of the messages for this gown.
All right.
Wow, that's so
Patriotism.
exciting. Sir Fern, medyo pasundot lang po ng konti. So, bali, total of two gowns po ito, correct? That you prepared
Ano?
for. Total of two gowns po.
No, no, no. We
Oh,
made 4 gowns.
Okay, 4 gowns.
okay, four
You
gowns.
made four
All right.
gowns. Partner, I think you have something to ask also as well.
Yeah. For me, Sir Fern, so since you have been based po in Dubai for quite some time, for you, how has Philippine fashion changed since you started designing? Because I'm sure hindi nyo naman din po tinanggal yung your eyes on the Philippines. So how do you think Philippine fashion has changed since you started designing?
It has changed tremendously. I love seeing Philippine fashion being ruled by young talents. Exciting design, breaking the barriers, and exploring all sides of fashion. Because the young designer now, they are very fearless. And I love
Mm.
fearless.
Wow. Do you think po ba medyo nahuhuli tayo when it comes to trend, or because
No,
of the you see
no. For
nauuna
me,
na dun po
Filipino
tayo?
designers are very talented.
All right. Thank you. Sir Fern, my next question is on um asking as to whether um it's easier for you to dress up a Filipina who is, let's say, meron po kasi tayong conservative culture versus a foreigner who is very experimental. Alin po ang
No,
sa
I
ting
don't think Filipino are conservative. I feel they
mm,
are empowered and modern. I think the difference are in the personal style and preferences. Because I can see a lot of women now are ready to experiment. They are very experimental in their style and fashion sense, which I think is very, it's a wonderful just because we can already accept individuality of each and
mm,
everyone. Meron ng
correct.
individuality eh.
Mm. Correct. I agree. No, partner din kasi nakita din natin in the past, nag-evolve din talaga yung taste, yung sense of fashion with all of the influences and also with everything that has been introduced by our Filipino designers in
Yeah,
the Philippines. Kaya nag-evolve din, correct?
yeah, exactly. I think, and what Sir Fern has actually pointed out, I think a prime example of being empowered was one of the gowns he has actually designed in last year's edition of the Miss Universe Philippines pageant. So, I think we're referring to no, Bella Ismael's gown in particular. So that's an example. So, partner, continue.
Yeah, Sir Fern, we know po that pageant fashion is distinctly different from avant-garde design, uh, which is your forte po. Do you see yourself creating more pieces for the pageant industry moving forward?
Absolutely. I enjoy dressing up beauty queens.
And sir, do you also see yourself like, let's say, spending more time in the Philippines, or probably coming back and being based in the Philippines soon when you start to um, create more pieces for Philippine pageant?
For now, I have no plans yet.
Mhm.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So, sir, lastly na lang po, do you have any advice to our young and budding fashion designers?
I think just continue doing your craft and do not lose your fire on design.
Wow. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And that wraps up today's Crown Conversation special. Thank you to Sir Furne Amato for gracing this very special episode. And sir, before we let you go, if there's anything that you would like to promote, we're giving the floor to you na po at this point.
I think we have to support Rabiya because it's next week, no? Yeah,
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes po.
So we have to
Yeah.
stop bashing. Support Rabiya. Support the
Yeah.
Philippines. It's
All
for the
right.
Philippines.
It's for the Philippines. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sir Fern Amato, for gracing this very special episode, as I said. And please, everyone, don't forget, it's just 7 days away, actually. We just have a week to go. Please continue voting for our very own Rabiya Mateo in the competition. For those outside of the Philippines, log on to the Miss Universe website and vote, or download their app. Here in the Philippines, please vote via Lazada. And please don't forget, on Monday, May 17th, Manila time, it's going to be somebody's going to be crowned the most beautiful woman in the universe. Partner!
So stay tuned po for our coverage ng ating Miss Universe 69th edition, and continue to follow us on our social media accounts on our Facebook, Instagram, and on our youtube.com/ The Crown Philippines. Again, thank you po, Sir Fer, for this very
Thank
special
you.
interview and gracing the crown.
And
Thank you. Thank you.
good night, everyone.